Hey everybody. Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. I just seen that YouTube said I was going live at 12 a.m. No, it's 8 p.m. So hey, thanks for everybody stopping by. Brian, Gary, Russell, Mike, quite a few of you out there. We're going to do a rundown of the standing of the tournament here in just a little bit. I'm going to give everybody 5 or 10 minutes. We can chat a little bit. Anybody wants to jump in, let me get the link up for you. And join me up here. Just click on the link that's popping up in there, and you can jump into the chat if you'd like to. Jump onto the screen with me if you'd like to. Looks like we're good on Facebook and YouTube right now. So it is smoldering hot in Virginia, which me and Brian were just talking about. I think this is probably the hottest weekend coming up. Hey, Lindia, thanks for joining in. This is the hottest weekend so far in Virginia. And it's not just the heat, it's the humidity. And yeah, I know down in Florida, the humidity is probably a lot more, but we're just not used to it up here. Even early morning fishing stinks in this humidity. Hey, John. So I think the link there for Facebook may be back. Maybe an error on that, but it'll come around. Yeah, I'm sure it's hot in Tennessee too, there, Mike. It's that time of year, right? Everybody. It's funny, the news and it's always, oh, it's hot. It's freaking summer. That's what summer's about. It gets hot. It's going to get 99, 97, 98, 100 degrees. Either deal with it or stay in the air conditioning, or both. Hey, Marty, thanks for joining in. Sorry about the confusion. I don't know why YouTube had it posted at midnight. I'm using StreamYard, as you can see, and I'll post the link again in case anybody wants to jump in. StreamYard is supposed to put it out on time, so we'll see. Is anybody, John, you said you're editing footage from today. Don't tell me you got another 8, 9, 10 pounder. If you got a 10 pounder, I want to know about it, John. But if you haven't watched John on Small Water Charters, his latest few videos, man, they've been tearing them up. Yeah, global warming. I got you, Marty. Brian, I like that. I told my wife if I can work in it every day, I can go fish in it. Hey, I'm with you. I typically, I don't really care about the heat. It doesn't bother me. But when I know, I got Lindia's upgrade today, by the way. I think I got it included. I know I got it included in the stats here. But when it's sweltering hot and the moon phase is off, which is an off weekend for the moon phase, the bites, the bass are deep up here in Virginia. The moon phase is wrong, and you're kind of spinning your wheels. And the weather's not going to be cooperating. You're kind of spinning your wheels. So I'm going to add, hey, Gary, thanks for popping in. I got your thumb. Can you hear us?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Hey, thanks for dropping by. I got to ask John, did Lindia get a different upgrade than the one that you sent me earlier today, or is there another upgrade?
We're breaking up again.
You are. I shouldn't be breaking up. Hope I'm not.
It's me. I'm going to get off and I'll just listen because I don't want to ruin everything with a bad connection. So
now you're
from the other side.
Hold on just a second. See if it'll clear up. You don't have to jump off that quick, because what I want to say is for the folks that are on here before we get to the tournament update. So the video, my weekly video coming out this week, is me and Gary fishing on Lake Mooney. He came up here and fished, and Brian and Marty, we had an encounter with a Mooney monster. You'll just have to watch. I'm not going to reveal anything, but I'll give you a tease. So one of the videos I put out was one of the comments on the Lake Mooney Facebook page was I put loony lunkers, and the guy goes, no, Mooney monsters. So that's what we've been saying. So okay, Lindy, just one for today. I got it. I've got it in the totals here. I'll give it just another few minutes to see if anybody else is going to pop in. Is going to join us before I start on the tournament results. They are there, Brian. Yes, yeah, like I said, we had a real life encounter with a Mooney monster.
Yeah.
And I see him. Well, actually, I've actually caught him. Brian, I know you've caught him. Matter of fact, I don't know if too many other folks other than me and Brian and maybe one other folks I've seen anybody catch anything over 7 out of there. But they're in there. Just got to be patient. But this time of year, it's hard because they're deep. They're in that moss, and it's hard to get to them. So
there was just a tournament at the local lake, and the winner was 6 pounds and change.
6 pounds and change in Florida?
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad day of fishing right there.
Yeah, and then my tournament Saturday, the winner was only 13 pounds, and third place was 9 pounds and change. So, there was only 2 guys that had over 10, and that's just in my area. But we're fishing a river, and the river came up 3 feet in like 2 days, so that could have something to do with it,
Yeah, the area you fish there in Panama City is a lot different than what John and Lindy are fishing down in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Totally different animals.
Night and day.
Yeah.
But then again, where I fish here is way different than Virginia.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every place is different, right? Everybody has their challenges. I would say that, like Mike down at Big Bait Posse, I know he's a big smallmouth fisherman, but the lake structures of Virginia, Western North Carolina, and Virginia, Pennsylvania, maybe not Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Kentucky. We kind of have the same lake structures, kind of deeper, rockier lakes. But when you start getting further south, they get shallower, longer, deeper. You get river systems. I mean, I think, John, correct me if I'm wrong, you told me there on Donkey Land, I mean, there's a few spots that's deep, but most of it's like 5 or 6 foot deep all over. I mean, power poling it and fighting the grass is what you do all day. Brian, you got 2 over 8 in Mooney. That's pretty impressive. I think I've got 1 over 7 and a couple 6 in Mooney. But you just got to go after them. Yeah, 4 foot average. John says 4 foot average in Donkey Land. That's shallow.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
If I catch a fish in 4 foot of water up here, it's early in the morning. It's a rarity. They're up shallow feeding for some reason. But I had 4.
In your lakes in the summer, everybody goes, "Oh, they're going deep." Down here, some do go deep, but they head to the grass. They're just in there, and you got to try to get them out. So.
Yeah, we had like on Mooney Lake last year. I didn't start fishing it till late. I mean, they had a big. The moss was thick, but they were in pockets in the moss, but they were on the edges of the moss on the deep side. Yes, Donkey Land is a different place for sure. But like on another lake over here, Hunting Run, which is pretty popular here in Virginia, I couldn't catch a bass in deep water unless there was grass around. So all the rocky outcrops that didn't have grass, you might as well just pass it up. I think Marty was with me out there one day, following me around. Like the first day I met Marty, I shouldn't say you weren't following me around, Marty. I know you weren't, but we didn't catch fish until we got on grassy deep points. So it's definitely different. Hey, Matt, I got to ask, have you fished Donkey Land with John and Lindia? Wait for that response to come up. I really, after talking to John and Lindia on their live cast the other night, getting an understanding of how they're building those water systems down there in Florida. I mean, they're just basically making giant, and I'm not being negative when I say it this way, but it's almost like giant, shallow puddles, right? Because they're just covering and damming up flat land, and however deep it gets. So, yeah, I know, John, I remember you telling me you got some 20-foot holes in headwaters. Big water filters. That's right. That's what he said. Big water filters. You're right, John. Thanks. Well, hey, let me go ahead and go over where we're standing on the tournament. It's tight in some senses, but it's also not in some others. But I will tell you, we do have somebody jumped out in the lead, and if you're not watching small water charters and watching John and Lindia catch the big bass down there, they've been tearing them up. So John, I think, what was it? You got one over 8 this week, 24 inches long, or the last week or so, and some over 5 and 6, and Lindia as well. And John has jumped up into the lead. He's got 67.75 inches. That's pretty good. That's pretty good fish. And last week, or the last update, 8.8. Right. Thanks, John. You got an 8.8. And you're catching a little heat on your live cast last week. Someone's making fun of your built-in scale in your arm because you brought it out and said, that's a 10-pounder. Hey, I get it. I took up for you. It's like we all get googly-eyed when we see that big bass, and initially it once you get it in the net and get it in your hand, it gets a little shrinkage. But it had a 10-pound head for sure. It was a big bass, no doubt about it. So congrats on that catch. But yeah, it moved up first place, 67.75. And then out of nowhere, second place, who had 0 inches in the last update, Lindia is in second place, which I warned John. I was like, I sent him in the email response when he sent me the update. I was like, yeah, you're in first place, but beware, Lindia is in the same boat with you. She's in second with 61.5. David Beans, you have 60.5 and you're in third, but not by much. This is where it gets tight. Brian, you're right behind him at 58 inches, and Russell right there in the mix too at 54.75. And then Mike, man, with smallies, guys, with smallmouth, 53.75 inches. That's remarkable, Mike. I just got to tell you, that's just amazing. And then Mike Lotzener from Dad Life Reese Life is at 51.5, and then John Gonea is at 50.25. He's a local kayak fisherman. So I mean, it's kind of tight there for third place. John has definitely got a pretty good lead there at first. It's going to be hard to catch. 6 inches is hard to make up. When you think about that, that's going to, I think David Beans can make it, but or Lindy, of course. But us up here in Virginia, Brian, you got to get one of those 8-pounders out of Mooney. We still got 10 days. You're right. You only need a couple 20s. Who was it? I can't remember off the top of my head, but someone, I am not kidding, someone sent me a 21-inch bass, and it looked like a snake. It was pitiful. It was 21 and a half inches long. It probably weighed, if it was 3 pounds, it was lucky. It was a pretty sick looking bass. But hey, this is a tournament for length, right? So it counts. It counts. I like Lindia. You're right, John. I still have 9 more days. Yeah. Tomorrow, Brian, you're going to go out tomorrow? You're a brave man. If I was going to go out at all the next few days, I got to work tomorrow. But tomorrow will be the best day. Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have that front move through, and it's just going to be crap. So, good luck tomorrow. Good luck to anybody out there over the weekend. If I'm not mistaken, here in Virginia, all of our yeah, I hear you, Brian. Just in the morning. If I'm not mistaken, Brian, Saturday and Sunday, aren't they having like every daggum lake around here's got a major kayak tournament on it? I think I read that somewhere. Like it's a kayak tournament um, that you could fish basically all of our local lakes. You know, you didn't have to fish one specific, but you could fish all the other ones. You haven't added him in yet. I don't think I was at 60. I think I did add that one in. It's 60.5. I'll double check though. I'll double check. You're right, John. Dark of the Moon next week. I will be fishing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Next week. That's the good phase. Yeah, the Battle of Five Lakes. Thanks, Brian. The Battle of Five Lakes up here, which is the 5 lakes I fish, and good luck for them all. Good luck to them all. I hope they have a good time out there fishing. There's plenty of fish to catch, but the one thing that I learned quickly since I started fishing in Virginia and got my boat on the lakes, especially out here at Hunting Run and Mooney, it's when they have these tournaments for kayakers, they come in force. There can be 40 kayakers on a 300-acre lake, and you're fighting for 100 yards of space to fish, and that ain't no fun. Marty, you're saying we need to get together at night? Well, to fish? We do some night fishing? I can do some night fishing for sure. Marty, we've got to do, I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now. The Nova, you know who I'm talking about. Guy that's invited us on his podcast. Don't we have something we got to do with him in August? We got like a little fish-a-thon going on. I say fishing on a little contest. Hey, thanks, John. Get back to editing. I want to see what you got going on. I'll be looking. I'll be watching for sure. Check out our episodes. Check out Gary's episodes on Gary's Fish Tales. Fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, it's the same video for him and I this weekend. But please go out there and check it out. Oh, you caught. Okay, yeah. Thomas from Fishing the DMV. Thanks, Marty. We have a local contest. It's going to be he's a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber. Marty's a YouTuber. We're going to do a little contest up here. He is a collegiate bass tournament champion. Now, how that's going to interpret into fishing against Shane, we'll see. And Marty, he wants to come down here and fish in our waters. Okay, let's see how it goes. Marty, the drop shot king, may be tearing him up. We'll find out for sure. Gary, you going out this weekend?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm actually going to hit that lake. It's my local lake. I don't feel like driving too far, and that's the lake where they just pulled out, 5 or 6 pounds for first place. But we'll see how it treats me Saturday. And then weather, because it's hot here all the time, so I'm used to that. I mean, check out the tan, So it is what it is. I just go out there and grind, and it's small fish. It's small fish, but small fish better than no fish,
Hey, absolutely. Yeah, I wish James from Cranking and Yanking was on. I'd tell him to jump in here. He's got his big pond in his backyard, and I was telling him, hey, you got a lot of fish in your pond, but he hasn't been. I think he's in a boat change situation, or he got rid of his boat, etc. But Marty, come on, you're not going to kick my ass. I give you a thumbs up for at least coming out and saying you're going to challenge me. And now you probably will kick my ass since I said it out loud. But James, hey, SoFlo Outdoors, thanks for stopping by. But James is fishing in his backyard pond, and he's just tearing them up. And he said, hey, yeah, I catch a bunch of dinks. So I'm like, if you can just go out and catch something and release some stress and enjoy the outdoors, man, there ain't nothing wrong with that, right? As long as you're catching fish and enjoying yourself. it's fun. It's fun to get out there and fish, no matter what. Um, I just Billy, right, from SoFlo Outdoors. Is that's who this is? Yeah, I was, if I remember correctly from over the live cast last week. My text or my chat has about a 5-second delay. So, I do want to ask the folks that are on here, and Gary, you too, all of you. So I've got one more tournament scheduled for the year, but I want to do something different. And what I've got thinking in my mind, yeah, he does have a peaceful place there, James, that's for sure, down in Louisiana. A tournament that I have in mind, I want to do another 6-week tournament, but I want to do like a 5-card draw. If you think of poker, where you've got to register. It's a 2-part tournament, right? You have 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know if I want to divide it in half or make it a little bit longer. You've got to register 3 fish in the first half of the tournament, no matter what length, right? It's going to be, 3 12-inchers, if you will, to get to the second half of the tournament. Make it a 2-part. I think it kind of levels the playing field a little bit. So if you go out and have a good day and you get, say, 3 bass at 44 inches, and that's your entry point, right? You've got to have 3 bass for your entry point to get to the second half. And at the second half, you whatever, you can't. There's no call. You can't call out those first 3. Those first 3 are the first 3. That's part of your measurements. Now you have another 2 or 3 weeks, however we decide to divide it up, to catch 2 or 3 more to add to your total. So you got to first part of the tournament, you got to register 3 bass to get to the second. It doesn't matter, and what I'm thinking is everybody who registers 3 gets to go on to the next. Yeah. So, but those first 3 you cannot call out. You can't call those out. They are there. Your second 3, I don't care. You can call them all day long, right? If we do 3 and 3 or 3 and 2,
3 and 2 like poker.
Like poker, that's what I was thinking. Like a poker tournament, yeah, like a 5-card draw. I don't know. Matt, you said it sounds interesting. Brian, you're saying let's do a team tournament. Team tournament's interesting, but I try to want to keep this to everyone, anyone, anywhere. I don't know how we would. Yeah, Brian, maybe we need to talk. How would we make a team tournament work over nationwide? It's actually damn pretty good idea, actually. Here's the challenge, though. If I had, and I'll just use this for example, and I draw John from from Small Water Charters, and you draw Lindia from Small Water Charters. It's game on. Okay, I draw the team. Blind. Would it be a 30-day 5, or would it be a 30-day no call? What do you think? How would that work? Because what I want to do is here's my biggest complaint, and no poke in the eye to anyone down in the South, because I'm from Oklahoma. I know how to catch big bass. We can catch big bass. But some of the complaints I get, people don't want to participate because they don't feel like they have a fair advantage of, if they're in Michigan versus someone in Florida, or in Massachusetts versus someone in Texas. So I want to try to find a way to level that playing field. So I was thinking a three no call, and then 2 or 3 and 2 more to add to that might 30-day 5. You're thinking a 30-day 5. In a team format that I draw blind.
What if you get an odd player?
Yeah, we got to think about that too. You're right. That's a good point. If you get odd, if we don't have an even amount of people.
It's interesting, but then now it's starting to get kind of difficult for you to handle as the account manager for all this. But it's up to you. I mean, you do what you want.
Well, yeah, but I want people. Thanks, but I want people to be interested in getting.
It's interesting. I'm like you. I'm sitting here. How's a team one going to work? You know.
Yeah.
I mean, if one of your members is a little kid who can go out once and they get drawn with that person, and small water charters, they draw somebody who just goes fishing once a month.
Yeah.
And and they just join for the heck of it. It's kind of not so good for small water charters.
Yeah.
Now me, whoever they team me up with, I can only benefit. So.
Brian, I think you got something here, but I think we had to think through the logistical parts of it.
Yeah.
Brian says, I feel like I'm fishing against guides. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's. I know you're not complaining, but John and Lindy are retired. They run a service. I get it, and let's just say it like it is too. They're good fishermen as well, so they get a lot of time to get out there on the water. But can I level the playing field a little bit? That's what I would like to get to. And Brian, I think you get a good idea with a team tournament. But also, I think doing some type of no call, an entry, and first 3 weeks. I actually want to say 2 weeks or 20 days or something like that. You got to register 3 fish, because the shorter that first no call part is, the better for folks that are in a position where they're either A, don't get to fish as much, or in a state that the bass aren't bigger than in the South. That gives them a longer. It can give them a somewhat of a level playing field, I think. Just one idea, but I'm open. What I would like to do is I probably want to run this tournament, the last tournament, from mid-September till 31 October, through that time frame. That'll be the last one of the year. And each tournament, I've got more and more people joining in. I am going to jump into the kayak world a little bit more, do some advertising. I do some advertising on YouTube, but I don't specifically target a group. And I think with the amount of kayak fishermen that I know that are here in Virginia that fish these local tournaments, and I know, Brian, you are a kayak fisherman, but and Gary, you were a kayak fisherman until you jumped back into the boat. I think we could get some more interest, and I've got to stay with length. I mean, because that's the only fair way to do it. And I've had some, got some comments about length and stuff. Length versus weight. I get it. Matt sent me that. I think it was Matt sent me that long snaky bass. It was 3 pounds maybe. That's 21 inches long. That should be a 6 or 7 pound bass. Brian says, I got a 22-foot bass boat and I never use it. Brian, that's why, and Gary can confirm this. When I was jumping back into the fishing up here, I was going to buy me a new Ranger bass boat.
But you don't have lakes you can use it in.
That's right. That's what we came down to is either the Potomac or, it was basically you're going to fish the Potomac. And Brian, I know you love your kayak. You're out there all the time, and I like my electric boat. I do. I fell in love with that. I keep upgrading certain little things, but the good fishing in this part of the United States, in Virginia, I want to say Georgia, it's huge. Electric fishing is huge in Georgia because all the other than the giant lakes are all electric. So, hey, Matt, Big Bait Posse, do you have Mike? I'm sorry. Do you fish with paddle or do you fish with a trolling motor? Curious. Some folks, they're pure kayakers. They want to only use a paddle.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Gary, I'm going to poke you in the eye a little bit with this comment. And it's not meant to be negative or poke you, but
probably use the exercise. But
no, I wasn't going to go there. Dude, you had just as much money in your kayak almost that I had in my 16-foot flat bottom boat.
I had a 13-foot Old Town PDL with about $8,000 into it. I was running a Minn Kota Tarova on the front with the remote control, live scope, a 9-inch Garmin, and I had 250 amp lithium batteries that I installed under the seat, etc. It had LED lighting on it. It had navigation lighting on it for the nighttime. So yeah, it was done up pretty nice. And then of course the trailer and blah blah blah. But yeah, if you go in, you got to go all in.
I agree. Brian's, I see Brian on layup all the time. He's got autopilot. He's got his setup nice as well. Yep. Brian, yours is a hobbycraft, right? Oh no, he says Old Town. He's got an Old Town. I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. So, but I mean, he's got it up. He's got his rigged up. He's got it nice. He's got a few pennies in it.
Yeah.
Brian says I got 9,000 in mine.
There you go.
I'm at about in my 16-foot 1660 roughneck. I'm probably around 11,500, 12,000 with the upgrade to the lithium batteries now. Yeah, that's a big upgrade. Is just going lithium.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you know what? That's not accurate. That's not an accurate statement on my part, because I had AGMs, so I have 36 volts in the back, and I had AGMs, and I probably paid $300 a piece for those AGMs when I bought them, and I switched to lithium in the back on those 3 batteries, and I only paid $400 a piece for those Wheezy. Is that what they are, Gary? Wise.
Yeah, my brother loves them.
Yeah, I have had no issues with them. I didn't buy what's the batteries you bought?
You'd have to ask me that, and me have a brain fart.
Dakota Lithium.
I had Dakota Lithium in the kayak, and now I went to
Ionic.
Ionic. There you go. Thank you. You know better than I do.
Yeah, I went with the cheap eBay. I watched all those. If you guys are interested in this, and I don't mean to scare anybody off, but one thing that Gary and I discovered when I was researching the batteries, there's a guy who goes on YouTube and cuts every one of these damn batteries, these lithium batteries apart, and validates if they got hot sensors, cold sensors, shut off, and all that other stuff, how they're manufactured, because they're all manufactured in China. Almost every one of them are. I know Dakota Lithium is it Grand Forks, Gary?
They're based out of Grand Forks. They used to be built in Grand Forks. The smaller, I can't say about the 100 amp now, but all the small ones now, they're all straight out of China. So.
Yeah. So they're all out of China. So if you're getting the same battery, why are you going to pay $300 more or $400 more? So I went with the Wheezy, and the reason the North Dakota connection, I asked Gary about that, is Gary and I met in Grand Forks, North Dakota, Grand Forks Air Force Base, North Dakota, a long time ago in a galaxy far away.
Yep.
That's where we went fishing in a canoe and caught northern pike, a lot of them. Yep. In North Dakota for the first time. Amped Outdoors. Brian, what brand batteries are those? Are they Amped is the name of the batteries?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I only paid for the 100 amp hour batteries I got into my boat. I only paid $100 more per battery over AGM. So it wasn't that much more expensive. It's $300. It was a $300 upgrade. I mean, I spend $300 or more on a new rod and reel. By the way, I got a new, Gary. Look what I got today.
But of course you do. Of course you do.
This is the Halo rod that they replaced.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I don't have to tell you I just bought 3 rods today on my way home. So I broke one, and I bought 2 extras in case I break more.
Dude, you break more rods than anybody I know. I haven't.
Big fish. If it was on big fish, I wouldn't mind. You know. So.
I haven't broke a rod, and I was just Marty. Are you still on? I wish Marty would jump in here because he's another rod breaker. I haven't I literally have not broke a rod. And I shouldn't be saying this out loud because now I'm going to break half a dozen of them. But I haven't broke a rod in a long time. If I break a rod, usually it's I've stepped on it. I tell you what, yeah, I'm wrong.
Actually, in one of your videos, you broke a rod.
I did.
Yeah.
I broke my Fenwick rod last year,
Yeah.
and I did. I've broke one in maybe 3 years.
Right.
Yeah, I broke one in about 3 years. Yeah, Brian, the big upgrade. You're right, Brian. The three batteries, the 3 lithium batteries, cut my weight in my boat down by 200 pounds by a human. It did. It cut the weight way down. I've got my backup motor on my boat now. I'm going to change it out because I can't get my Minn Kota motor fixed until after the season. Hey Brian, if you're local up here, if your Minn Kota goes out, you can't find a Minn Kota dealer that will take it to fix it. They're backed up, they're stacked up. So just FYI, anybody here in Virginia, my reverse went out on my Riptide, so I've got a what's the other brand? Motor Guide. I've got a Motor Guide 36 volt. It's junk. I mean, it's not junk. Gary, you were on the other day with me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was supposed to be brand new. It wobbles. You can't tighten it down all the way. I was not a fan. It's half the price of a Minn Kota.
It is.
The same thing. Now you got to tell them this is a tiller handle. It's not,
just tiller
like that. But yeah, it's. I personally, I was like, yeah, no, I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah, I bought it for.
I mean, if I was a budget conscious person, am I saying it's a bad motor? No. Is it as built as I think a Minn Kota is? No, it's not. You're going to get better quality from the Minn Kota, but price wise, if you're on a budget, hey, it runs.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it didn't push my boat as fast.
Almost. I mean,
it was almost. Yeah, it was almost. But
again, in your world, we're talking tenths of a mile an hour.
Yeah, you're right.
4.1. Ooh, I got 4.2. So
yeah,
that's why I don't miss the kayak world.
Yeah, you can just.
Can I tell my story with my buddy Earl? First time we had the kayaks going in Korea.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So we were in Korea, and I just put a trolling motor on my kayak, and of course I did one for my buddy Earl's, and we're going down, and he's like, "Oh, we're doing 3.14 miles an hour." I'm like, "All right, that's pretty good." A little while later, he goes, "Hey, we're doing 3.15 miles an hour, and 3.16 miles an hour." I'm like, "Earl, are you looking at your clock?" And he was looking at the clock on its GPS instead of the speed. So.
Yeah, I with my Minn Kota with the Riptide, I max out about 5.3, 5.4 miles per hour, somewhere in there. With the Motor Guide, when I'm like 4.75. Yeah, Linda, you got to.
Now a half mile an hour is big in your world. Yeah.
Yeah, Linda, you got a good point about taking care of what you got. It's I just, one of the other reasons that I had to take the Minn Kota off was I had a crack in my prop, and I probably got that crack in my prop from being a little too aggressive, jerking it in reverse, and I was getting a lot of prop chatter. I got a new prop for it. I am going to put the Minn Kota back on my boat and not have a reverse in the back. I got reverse on the front in my front trolling motor. Brian, you're doing 4.2. You kept up with me pretty good. You kept up pretty good with me for a while on your kayak when we're out on the lake. I just got to echo what Lindia said there. If you take care of your stuff and you got good parts and good stuff, it will last you. You got the Ultra. Yeah. Which version? Which motor? We have the Terrova, right, Gary? Me and you both have the same motor.
Yeah, we have the saltwater. Well, I have the saltwater Terrova. You have the freshwater Terrova.
Yeah, I think, Lindy, you got the saltwater Terrova as well. You got the white one on your boat, if I remember correctly. I don't know, other than they say there's stainless steel parts and more sealed and things of that nature.
Yeah, I'm actually buying a new Terrova. I want to go to 36 volts for my boat. The 24 is fine, but when I fish the river systems, 36 would be better. I'm buying the standard white Tarova. I mean, the standard black Tarova, and it's cheaper. And the freshwater Tarovas, you can get it with the sonar in the in base, where the saltwater version you can't. The saltwater version. Okay, so if anybody's interested, a quick rundown. There really is no difference except the white powder coating on the main versus black paint. As long as you keep your black paint not all scratched up, and if it scratches up, touch it up. That's fine. When you get out of salt water, rinse it. If you don't rinse it, there's your problem. So if you rinse it and keep it going, it'll run for 5, 10, 7, 10 years or whatever. The same as a normal white Minn Kota. All the electronics on all of them are sealed in resin, whether they say it on the freshwater or not. I've taken them all apart. I have built them individually. I couldn't get a bow mount in Korea. I had parts shipped over from eBay, and I built a bow mounted foot control trolling motor for my kayak in Korea. So I know all those units are waterproof and sealed. So
Lindia brings up a good point, and I just learned this, Lindia, because my Riptide is a saltwater motor. It's white. The warranty is longer on the saltwater version versus the freshwater.
It might be, yeah. It might be.
Yeah. It is.
They're also more expensive too. Yes,
they are. They're a few $100 more. But the thing for me, for a transom mount 36-volt trolling motor, it's the Riptide in Minn Kota. That's the only one they make.
Right. Yeah. And the of course, the transom mounts. That's if you want to, that's as cheap as you can go. When you start talking GPS, like your front one and the Tarova, that's where you start talking the money. But,
yeah, I think this, Gary. You've been on my boat. I do not need 36 volts on the front.
You do not. How many times did you almost throw me over the side of the boat? So I don't have this in the video that's coming out, but every time Gary would go to put a step on the gunnel, for some reason his foot would hit the power, and I would go falling backwards. We had to have a talk about it, but that's not in any of the videos.
Gary, do you have a cat?
Yes. So it happened today. It just jumped on my line. Okay. So I'm in the garage.
No. Time out.
Okay. It doesn't have a name yet. Okay. But so I'm in the garage working on my fishing stuff, and it comes crawling in my garage. It gives me the sad googly eyes. Meow. Look. I'm like, go away. Wouldn't go away. Kept giving me the eyes. So I gave it some water and food, and now I got a cat.
Okay. Yeah. We'll have a private conversation about this.
We'll talk later. You can slap some sense into me. It's only I don't even have a litter box for it, so I'm already thinking, I'm gonna wake up, there'll be doo-doo somewhere. I'll clean it tomorrow. Let's get a litter box. But if it works out, I'm not a pet person. If it works out, it works out. If not, I will find it a good home. Would you? Okay, now see, it's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be on the bright side. I can leave it for a couple of days with food and water versus a dog. So
true. Brian says name it Flathead.
So yeah.
Well, anyways, congrats on the cat, maybe.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to. Lindy is laughing. I don't want to keep everybody too long. Thanks everybody for tuning in for tonight. I enjoy doing this live thing. I enjoy joining people's live videos too. So John and Lindia had me. Hey, Joe, Parabellum Fishing. Good to see you on, my friend. If you haven't watched the traveling tackle box episode that he put out, you got to watch it. Parabellum Fishing. Check it out. I thought I was watching the next Star Wars.
The traveling tackle box was awesome.
It was.
Yeah.
That's right. Russell, you are Russell builds cat houses there in DC. He's put them up.
I'm not that far yet, Russell. I just got it. I'm not sure if it's staying, but we'll see. I'll look you up in a year if it stays.
Yeah. So if you ever, I think you follow Russell, right? RWA Fishing, Gary. He's got an episode where he's built some cat shelters there in the DC area.
Okay.
By the way, I forgot Russell. I got to plug this. Russell came down and fished with me. We had a hard day of fishing. I was on this live. I said, Russell, come down and fish with me. I invited him down. Russell showed up. We caught some fish. And I think, Russell, you'll probably have your version of the video out before me because I'm so far behind.
That's why you're using my video. You already told them so.
No, I did some edits to yours. You'll.
Oh, yeah. Either broadcasting Gary's Fishtail, So.
Well, no, I'm broadcasting Gary's Fishtail, but I put
he's a fraud. Watch the original on my channel. So.
Oh, hey, wait! Let's don't go a fraud. Let's put who caught the fish.
What fish? I didn't see it. There's an edit button on my program. I didn't edit your 7 extra fish out. No, I didn't. No.
Anyways, yeah, Russell, thanks for coming down, man. It was good. He and I are planning to do it again. We caught some fish. We just had a rough day because we had post front conditions. It was Russell drove down from DC to my house. Russell, correct me if I'm wrong. It's about 50 miles. The whole way down, and until Russell showed up at my house, it was overcast. The wind was just right. We make it to the lake. The front had blown through. Bluebird skies. No wind. It was just the worst type of fishing. But I think we probably caught a dozen bass or so between the two of us. It was good. So hey Joe, if you don't mind, who did you send the travel and tackle box to? I remember I do recall that you sent to someone else in Florida. I just didn't. Where do I got to go to watch the next version? Because it's pretty interesting. That's a pretty good concept. Whoever started it. If you're still on, you may not be on still. But it is there's 3 people on YouTube and I'll just call it my fishing family because I try to watch everybody's YouTube channel. Coastal Fever TV. Thanks Joe. I can't. It's just impossible for me to watch everybody I follow's videos, but there's a few that I just got to watch every week because they have their editing skills and the way they put the video together is fun. One is Deepuck Fishing up in New Jersey. Doug, he goes by Deepuck. The music, the filters, and his energy when he's out there fishing is just phenomenal. And he's a bank fisherman like Russell. He does not fish from a boat. I think he goes out once a year and rents a boat in New York, and he did last year. He did a 5-day fishing channel or something, if I remember correctly, but he primarily fishes from the bank. But the filters, the music, and everything is just phenomenal. John and Lindia, I know you guys are retired, but John is a master at this editing thing. He put some crazy the belt video that you guys put together was just phenomenal. You got to do some phenomenal creativity. And then Joe, man, like I said, I thought I was watching the next Star Wars when I was watching that. Yeah, Doug does have a great channel, Joe. But Joe, you got it together. You got all your stuff in one sock on this last video. You do some good creative stuff. And like I said, I try to watch everybody as much as can. And Russell's still on here, but I'm scared sometimes. I have to watch Russell's videos. I just want to see if he's going to catch a giant through the lily pads. And one day I just have this fear that Russell's going to step off into the lily pads and disappear into a deep hole. So Russell's another one. I got the bell. I hit the bell on a lot of them, but yeah, John's imagination is off the wall. He has got some stuff going on. It's pretty. It's pretty crazy for sure. So, hey everybody, I'm gonna cut this short. We're just right at an hour. Thanks again. I will do another update. I may do another update next week because we'll have a few days later, just to next Thursday, just to kick everybody a prize because we'll have a few more days left in the tournament. Good luck for all you out there that's going to continue to pound it out, grind it out. Third place is tight. So Brian, I know you're in there. Matt, you're in there. Just good luck getting out there fishing and be safe. And again, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Gary, thanks for jumping up here on me with me live.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to everybody in next week. Thanks.